Hi, I'm Kenny Joya. Welcome to another one of my tutorials. In this video series, we're going to learn how to record and produce your band in REAPER. And this is part 12 of that series. Next, we're going to set up a click track and get headphone mixes so the band could hear themselves in their headphones. As they're playing, let's close the mixer for now. We don't need it. And to turn on the click track, we'll go up here to our toolbar. This button turns on the metronome or the click track. So if we turn it on and hit play or record, we hear the click track. And if we turn it off, we don't. But we could tweak the settings for the click track right in here. Just right click it. That opens up this dialog here where we can adjust the metronome settings. This turns it on and off right here, which again we could do right from the toolbar. And over here, we can decide if it's on during playback, during recording, or both. So if we turn this off, we're not going to hear it in playback. But if I go into record, we then hear the click, which can be handy if we only want to hear it while recording. We could also create a count-in before playback and before recording. So if we turn it on here and we go into record, we get 2 bars before it starts recording. And then it records. But we could change that to 1 bar or 4 bars right over here. And we could have that count-in on playback or recording, or both. But let's leave it off for now. And down over here, we could adjust the volume for the click track. There's 2 different adjustments. The first one adjusts the overall volume. The second one adjusts the secondary note. So if you listen carefully, we're hearing 2 notes. The first one's an accent, then we're hearing 3 hits that are the secondary note. So we can adjust this completely separately from the first note. To adjust the accent, we could change the pattern of it. Right now it's set to ABBB, so it's 1 strong hit and 3 softer hits. But we could change it to ABAB, which alternates, or ABBA. Or you can create your own by typing them in. But let's put it back to the default. We could also use custom sounds. Right here, we could browse for samples for the main sound and the secondary sound. Or we could tweak the sound that we're hearing. Right now we're hearing 800 Hz and 1600 Hz. But if we change it to 400 and 800, it's going to sound deeper, like this. So if you prefer that, we could tweak it right here. We can also change the length in milliseconds of how long the sound plays. By default, it's 5, but if we change it to 50, it sounds like this. More of a beep, or if we shorten it to 1, it sounds more like a click. Or we could change the shape of it to hard, or triangle, more like an old drum machine, or back to the default. So that's our click. Now the tempo it's playing at, if you remember earlier, we set it down here to 83. Now if you're not sure of the tempo, we can have the band play and just tap this button up here, and it'll change the tempo as we tap. But in this situation, the band wants to use 83, so we'll just type it in. Now I should also mention You don't have to use a click track. Some bands can play in time all by themselves. But if you want to use a click track, and this band does, this is how you do it. So let's move on to the headphones, because the band has to hear themselves in the headphones. Now, if you have a small interface like this one, you only have one choice for your headphone output. You'd plug this in to a headphone amp like this, and that's how the band will hear themselves. And they'll hear the same mix that you're hearing in the control room. What's coming through our speakers and what we set up in our mixer, that's what the band's going to hear out of this output. But if your interface has more outputs like this, you can set up a different headphone mix for each one of them. And to see this better, let's go to the routing matrix in REAPER. We'll go up here to View and go down here to the routing matrix. In this window, we can see all the routing in our project. Over here is our inputs, where the mics are plugged into, and then go into our tracks up here. And the output of our tracks are going right here to the master parent send, which is being sent to output 1 and 2 right here. Don't worry if it's too confusing. You don't have to know all this to do what we're doing. But if you're using separate outputs for your headphones, you want to use this button right here. This is going to set up the mix that we have over here or in our mixer to go out output 3 and 4. Right now it's output 1 and 2, so it's going to our speakers, which is what we're hearing. We can send the same mix to output 3 and 4, 5 and 6, or 7 and 8. So you can plug your headphones into those outputs as well. But if you want to set up a separate mix, we can clear these, hold on Alt on the PC, Option on the Mac, and clear those. And instead, just draw a line from here all the way down. That's going to set up the output from all these tracks to go out output 3 and 4. So if your headphones are plugged in there, or your headphone amp, the mix we set up earlier is going to be sent there as well. Except we can now tweak it. So if we click this right here, this is the kick output going to output 3 and 4. So if that's your headphone output, you could lower the kick in the headphone mix right here. Or the snare right here. Or so on with the rest of the mix. So we can create a whole separate mix for the headphones, different from what we're hearing in the control room with our speakers. And we can set up more as well. We do the same thing over here and set up a different set of headphones for 5 and 6 or 7 and 8 and create a separate headphone mix for each one of them. Maybe the drummer over here doesn't want to hear the vocalist. Just go right here, Alt on the PC, Option on the Mac. Now this mix right here has no vocal. But we're going to keep it simple, so we're going to clear all this and just send the main mix, the one over here, the master parent send, to 3 and 4. So the mix we're hearing in the control room through our speakers is the same mix that the band is going to hear. With one exception, we could set up the click track just to go to the headphones. Let me show you. Let's go back and right click this. And if we go over here, this is the output for our click track. So if we select it, we could choose the hardware outputs for the metronome. By default, it's going to all of them, but we could choose just on our speakers, just on our headphones on 3 and 4, and our headphones and speakers, or just in the headphones. So right now, if I hit play, we're not going to hear the click in the control room, but they're still hearing it in the headphones. But let's put it back for now so we can hear it in both places, through our main speakers and through the headphones. So now if I hit play, we hear it in both places. Or if we go into record, we hear it then too. In fact, let's just switch it so we only hear it when we're recording. We'll turn it off for playback, so we hear back the performance. There's no click, but if we go into record, we hear it. And the band's going to hear it as well. So I think we're ready to go. In the next video, we're going to actually record the band. Let's do that.